All right, hey, welcome, 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 welcome. I know there's nobody here yet, but anyways, I've got my coffee, and it's Monday morning. I hope everyone had a great weekend. The weekend last weekend before Christmas, and I know this is a busy week. Uh, we still have things to do, so anyhow, life goes on, right? And we will continue doing what we do each and every day, and life will go on. The world does not stop for nothing. But a couple things before we jump into the information that I want to talk about today for our coffee break chat. I updated the profile picture here at the top, and basically, I put this also on my screen here, and I'll read you what it says. Okay, so you can see that there, but basically it reads here, I have a voice. I am building a new path for change in water safety by sharing my message and my story to the world at scale. I know that this new path will lead my audience to a better future. That's each and every one of you and anyone that I share my message with. I am the path to the future. So just kind of putting that out there. So just wanted to share that with you. If you would like this screen, I can send that to you. Or I would suggest maybe you come up with a little mantra or something for you. If you wanted to know how to set that up, maybe we'll make something for our this week Facebook Live topic, maybe on kind of a little bit of the formula that I used to come up with that after about 8 hours of working on that yesterday. That's what we came up with. Did the same thing for my podcast when, if you listen to my podcast about 18 months ago, followed that same formula to write the intro for the podcast. But the other thing I want to share with you, and I put a little video on my Facebook page and shared with you about, we had a couple of the kids come over yesterday that wanted to share Christmas with us. So, and my stepdaughter, Maria, my daughter, gave me a gift, and I want to share it with you here. And there it is. It's an angel. And I want to wind it up here a little bit, but I don't know if you can hear that, but it reads, I don't know if you can read that. It says 485,000, but really for one, it says your angel, Kelsey Lee Kaufman. This really surprised the crap out of me and brought tears to my eyes. And it really made me realize that sometimes when we don't think people are listening, or especially the ones close to us, or people that we might feel don't hear our message, this just tells me people are listening. And that's why we have to keep doing what we're doing. And I had decided before this ever happened what my conversation for my coffee break chat. I have actually I have a template I follow for many of these. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just wing it, and I think you probably realize that. But I have basically this template that I have, and we'll put this up if you want to do Facebook Lives in your group, or create video, things like that. But it prints out a script. I have a script that I follow with bullet points and a touch on to make sure that I touch on the things I want to. But it also creates all the prescripts, postscripts. It creates call to actions. It also, basically, all this stuff is what it creates and spits out. Show notes, if you have show notes. It also has email teasers, email content to send out to your email list. Many of you should have got an email from me early this morning. Actually, I did that last night, but it went out early this morning for those to make sure that they get up. And even if they're at work, or if you can break away for a coffee break, you can tune in. That's why we call this a coffee break. I know many people have to work during the day, and that's fine. But we have people that are in Central Time and Mountain and West Coast Time that get up and that are looking forward to watching this. Also, it has tweets and Facebook posts and all kinds of stuff before and content for after. If you want to learn about this template, we'll be also covering this template in the members area. So here we will get that all up in a future training and part of that in the members area. And so we will we'll start creating more of this type of stuff. But anyways, I want to welcome you here today. I hope you have your coffee. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And so, I want to, basically, this is about who are you talking to, okay, with your message, with what it is that you do every day. Most of us are on, if you're here, you're on social media. You spend time on social media. And so who are you talking to? And I'm going to give you a few things here. Hopefully that it'll be kind of a good takeaway. And this reinforces some of the things we talked about last week. And I think it's going to add value on things that we are going forward with and everything. So I want to, again, welcome you here to our 9 a.m. coffee break and taking the time out of your time and to spend some time. And if you're a water safety advocate or if you're a person, a business owner, or whatever it is that you do, a swim instructor, whatever, we all want to reach new people. If you understand our goal here at the Kelsey Code, it is about creating a new path. It is about paving a path for the future. The future is to end drowning. The future is that these are 100% preventable. So that's the future. And so I want you to envision that, what life would be like if we can accomplish this. What life would be like if we could reduce drownings by 185,000. So, let me say something here. So tip one is, who are you wanting to talk to? Okay. So this is about what they refer to as your ideal avatar or ideal client, customer, prospect, call it what you want. So, there's a few key things that you want to understand. If you know who you're talking to, then you can speak directly to them because you know who they are. Okay. The first thing is are they married or are they single? Okay, that makes a big difference on how you may communicate with them. If they're a single parent or married, then if they're married, then somebody there is going to be a decision maker. And if it's about water safety, drowning prevention, or swim lessons, you need to decide on who you're speaking to, because who's the one that's going to make that decision. Probably in most cases, I would imagine the mother is probably going to be the big one. That's my assumption, but hopefully they're having a discussion because there's finances involved in that. And the other thing is how many children do they have? Do they have 1, 2, 3, 5? And the third bullet point on this is mom and dad. What's their age? How old are they? Are they 25, 35? So that way you can kind of understand, their age. So you're communicating with them based on, on their age demographic, that is. The other thing too is their children's age. If you're an infant swim instructor, if they have children 4 or 5 years old, that may not be your ideal prospect. But you may have some great education for them. If they're a grandparent, they have children coming over to their house and they have a pool, then that might be some great information. We're going to touch a little bit on some of this when we get into, after we cover these 3 tips. Let's go into tip 2, tip number 2 here, and that would be, where do these people hang out? Okay, so if you know their age, you know how many children, if they're married or they're single, you could probably make a determination by looking at your own lifestyle, own way you live, and determine where these people might do their shopping. Okay, where are they shopping so that you can frequent those places also? Where, for example, where do they work? And this will be important in tip 3, but where do they work? will tell you a little bit more about them, and plus tell you about income levels and things like that, whether or not they may have a pool or they afford a pool, and where do they spend their time online. Okay, are they on Facebook, Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? Which is really the biggie, I think, in terms of some of these things and having that conversation. Let's cover tip 3. What demographic would you classify them? If you have the answers to 1 and 2, you probably have a good idea of their, financial demographic. You might have a good idea as far as their demographic, as far as where they live, as far as their employment situation. So you could probably begin to answer some of these questions. What is their financial resources to be able to afford your services? Okay, so can they afford services for 1 child, 2 or 3, if that would be the case? Would they be an advocate? Could they be a voice for your mission? So that's something else. But also, would they be willing to accept a scholarship? And if they accept scholarships, will they be willing to follow through with the terms of the scholarship and complete it? Because a lot of times, from what I hear from many people, is when people receive scholarships, there's a good percentage of those that don't attend after the 2nd or 3rd lesson, and so they kind of drop off, or they don't complete the program. And then, do they have special needs? Important to understand. If they have special needs, then you would want to address that also, for themselves or even for their children. So if you have a facility, you want to make sure that you can accommodate, mom, dad, or the children if they have any special needs, or if it's educational, because you want to make sure that, you can accommodate that, or you can work with them in that case. Those are basic 3 tips. And I think if you follow these tips, let's take a look and say, a few final points on these tips. And that would be, to remember. Number 1 is, who are they? Who are they, their age, their, all these things. And if you have these answers, I think you can almost draw a picture. And I would suggest that you get a picture. Go to pixabay.com, download a picture, an ideal picture of what this person might look like. And then, and understanding where they hang out, where do they go, and so that's going to give you an idea where maybe you could spend your time. And then the big one is where are they online? Okay, the reason being is if they're a parent, there's parent groups. Okay, there's groups where parents hang out asking questions. If you know where they work, you could go to LinkedIn and connect with the people there at work and get to know not only just them through work, but also their friends, their coworkers, their associates, and people like that. That, I think, is a real important piece, because if they have a LinkedIn profile, but that's why it's important that you can utilize this. Facebook is a little different. LinkedIn it's much more direct. If you know certain things about them personally, it's easy to find them on LinkedIn. It's not so easy to find them on Facebook. Okay, now, once you find them, you have to engage with them. You need to have a conversation. What's that conversation going to look like? Well, I refer to this as, I learned something here from Antoine DuPont. Actually, he refers to this as the 3 E's, and this is called engagement, education, and entertain. If you follow those 3 E's, it's going to allow you to begin to create some content or create something around that so you can speak to them. So look at, number 1, make that content or make the information that you're sharing with them engaging. Get them to engage with you, whether or not that's at, where they shop, where they hang out online, but you're able to engage with them in a conversation. The other thing is, educate them a little bit about something, throw some value their way, and then the third thing is make it entertaining. Something he indicated to also, Antone said, is if your content, if you're on social media and you're posting within these groups, then does your content make them smile? If it doesn't make them smile, then maybe reconsider what it is that you're putting out there. Is it, does it make them feel good? Is it positive? Okay, these are things that are very important to look at. And so, these are some of the final points I think really that I think make for a great program to reach out and find new people. Again, in a little 15-minute coffee break or so, we can't give us a lot of time to really go in depth with this. So we can help. You know, that's what I do. I mean, I spend all day long, you know, reaching out to people. We have a LinkedIn program that really is designed to build a platform. Number one, it's really designed to set up your leadership or your authority to set you up as an expert in that area, whether or not you're using LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. It's all about utilizing, you know, this and having that conversation and engaging with people. So, you know, if that's something going into 2020, if that is one of your goals that you're looking at doing in 2020, then, you know, I suggest that maybe we sit down and we talk. Let's continue this relationship. Like I shared with you in the beginning, it's about, you know, carving and paving a new path for the future, doing things differently. Okay, we need to reach a lot of people, and the reason why I put that in that little mantra about reaching people at scale, this is about scaling your message, scaling your platform to the point where we're just not reaching 1 or 2 or 3 people at a time. We're reaching hundreds, if not thousands at a time, with some really great information. And understand that you can post things with how-to videos. And don't discount the idea of cost. Most people want to know cost of things. You don't have to explain your cost, but talk in terms of what things cost in general. If you're a swim instructor, swim school, if you're a business person, or you're selling a product, whatever. Don't hold that back. That's important to do that. So those are some of my takeaways here today. So understand the 3 E's, give them value, educate them, engage with them, and entertain them. That's something that we're working on for 2020. So you're going to start seeing some really funny things, but at the same time, some things coming down the road here in the very near future. So if we have any questions, I know my wife, Lori, hey, Lori, is on here. So, but shoot me a message, comment on this post. Let us know how we're doing. If you have a particular topic that you would like us to talk about in our coffee break, that's great. And if that's the case, we'd love to have you on. We will be reaching out probably after Christmas to a few people. We will start bringing on a guest each week with our coffee break, somebody to have coffee with, and so we can start hearing a little bit from each one of our members here, so we can share what they do and how they're working through this process and engaging and creating content and working with them. So that would be very, very important. Good morning, Allison. How are you doing? Hopefully you had your coffee. You'll have to go back and watch some of this video here after we're done, because this is with your YouTube channel. I would this might help out a little bit too with sharing that content, and so that would be really good for you. Plus, I want to put, being you're here, I'm going to put an invitation out to you to maybe after the first of the year, you could be a guest on our coffee break. Bring your cup of coffee and we can sit down and we'll do a split screen deal. Hopefully we'll have that all set up for the first of the year. So that should be fun, and we'll be able to repurpose that content and do other things with it. So that's going to be cool. So not a problem. Any questions or anything like that, but just understand, you know, we're all trying to talk to people, and, you know, so we need to have that conversation with them, give them value. Also, you know, understand where do they hang out. If you're utilizing social media, use those platforms to locate these people. Once we have our audience, I want you to think of these people as an audience. You want to gain their attention, and then gain them attention so they can begin to know who you are, and then they can begin to like what it is that you're talking about, and then you can begin to build the trust factor. Once you build the know, like, and trust, then, you know, there's a lot of things you're able to do with this. And so taking those three tips that we just talked about, you know, who are you wanting to talk to, know a little bit about them and what they look like. The other thing is, where do they hang out? And then, you know, and then you'll be able to answer the third tip, is like understanding their demographics and all things about them, and how they fit into your world, and whether or not, you know, so that way we're, you know, number one, we don't want to waste our time talking to the wrong people. because there's a lot of people that need what it is that we offer. So we need to talk to the right people. And once we bring them into our world as an audience and they know and like and trust us, they'll begin to share our content, and they'll begin to share out to their, to the people that are following them on whatever platform that we're utilizing or they're utilizing. So hopefully that's some good information. I'm going to finish my coffee. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at rick@thekelsgroup.com. And if you are looking at creating, like I said in the beginning, if you're looking at creating scripts for programs, this is my script, and all the information. It has my tweets, it has my Facebook posts, it has emails, it has subject lines, it creates the show notes and things like that. So it's very powerful, and not only that, it helps me cover a lot of information. So we've been on here for about 20 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and call it a day. And we will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, so we will be here tomorrow. And I will be sharing a little bit on Christmas morning at 9 a.m. I know mostly probably I don't expect anybody to be with me, but the recording will be up just the same. So, hey, you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. We will see you guys later. Hey, if I don't talk to you or I'll be talking. Whether or not you'll be listening, have a very Merry Christmas and be safe if you're traveling. And if you are traveling, binge listen to our podcast at thekelsgroup.com/podcast. And we will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. All right. We'll see you.